Okay, so today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to share my screen, which I haven't done for a little while. And we're going to go through a recent announcement by the Catalyst Corporation. There was an article that just appeared on the Daily HODL. We'll go through there. There's a few key statements that I want to read from the CEO of Catalyst. But before we get into that, I've got on my other laptop here the Blockchain Economic Forum, and so this is in Davos, and so right now the World Economic Forum is going on, and so this is interesting. So I just wanted to make a point of reference here, because this is actually going to be starting on the 24th, so in a couple days. And what's interesting about this, and why I wanted to bring attention to this event, as you're looking at the key Davos speakers, again, this is the Blockchain Economic Forum, and one of the keynote speakers here on the 25th is none other than Nouri Rubini. So he seemed to have come out very anti-digital asset, and here he is speaking at the Blockchain Economic Forum that's going to take place here in a couple days. So I just wanted to bring that up before we get into today's topic. Hey, this is Jeff with the HODL Report. Join me on today's video as we dig in and we discuss a new Ripple xRapid relationship with Catalyst. So let's make a quick transition here. We're going to switch views, and we're going to go straight over to the HODL, Daily HODL. So over here on Daily HODL, Ripple partner reveals plans for xRapid as trader who called crypto crash predicts big move. Okay, so what I really want to focus in on here is the Catalyst Corporation. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to pull out a few statements from this article. I don't like going through and just regurgitating and reading other people's articles, but there's a point here, because then we're going to dig into the Catalyst website and get a little bit of a better understanding of one of the newest partner relationships that's developing, that's moving into xRapid. So first and foremost, and we'll get into this a little bit more, but CEO Kathy Garner says the firm, which serves more than 1,400 members and client credit unions throughout the U.S., plans to utilize the cross-border payment solution to boost payments to Mexico. So first and foremost, when we get into looking at Catalyst, 1,400 credit unions. This is who they represent. This is who they serve. Now, let's get into the statement that she said, the quote from her. One of Catalyst Corporate's largest endeavors in 2018 was forging a strategic partnership with Ripple. This was one of their largest endeavors. Now, this is a large organization of credit unions, and we're going to see a little bit more about who Catalyst is. The leading enterprise blockchain provider for payments. Our goal is to send international payments to Mexico via Ripple's blockchain solution. With this cooperative arrangement known as Currentz, secure cross-border money transfers can be completed within minutes. And this is very important as to some of the things that she's saying, why she's saying it, and we'll see when we get into looking at Catalyst. Now, this was followed up by the CEO of Catalyst, Brad Gainey. He states the traditional international wire experience fails to meet today's expectation. We already know this, but this is coming directly from a large credit union in the United States. The traditional international wire experience fails to meet today's expectation from price, speed, and ease of use perspective. Three key points. Blockchain technology, and specifically Ripple's xRapid product, resolves all three of these challenges simultaneously. Catalyst Corporate, through our subsidiary companies' technology platforms, will leverage the XRP digital asset to transfer money across borders instantly on behalf of our 1,400 plus member credit unions. We have signed a production contract and are currently building out the plan. So this is all being worked on right now. There's no exact launch date, but what is important, and this goes to all the naysayers out there, is that here's a bank. It's a corporate federal credit union and we're going to look at their relationship with the government as well, and some of the things that they do in the international payment space. But a bank that serves 1,400 individual branches throughout the United States and has relationships pretty much all over the world for payments and payment settlement. And so let's get into this a little bit here. So let's look a little bit about Catalyst Corp. Think back onto what some of the statements that the CEO had mentioned, and we're going to really see why Catalyst sees Ripple and sees XRP through the xRapid solution as a true solution for their needs, as their COO stated. Now let's look at their operating fundamentals. So let's look at the top and let's try to analyze these and look at them from a perspective of why Ripple, why RippleNet, why xRapid. Catalyst Corporate continuously strives to maximize efficiency. So we want speed, we want ease of use, they want to be efficient, obviously they want lower cost for their membership. Catalyst Corporate prioritizes strategies that will create value for member credit unions. So they're looking at the other credit unions they work with. They want strategies utilizing a lower cost, faster, more efficient, more transparent means of moving money cross borders is definitely a benefit that creates value for the other credit unions that they work with. Catalyst Corporate leverages technology to achieve its objectives whenever possible. They're looking at technology. RippleNet on the cutting edge of cross-border payment technology. Catalyst Corporate builds financial strength in ways that surpass milestones and regulatory requirements. So financial strength, we can think about this from a method of instant liquidity, utilizing xRapid and XRP. Catalyst Corporate protects its members' assets by closely monitoring and managing risk of all kinds, including credit, interest rates, liquidity. There we go. So having available liquidity for settlement is very important. Operational reputation and enterprise-wide risk. Catalyst Corporate is transparent, and having a form of international cross-border payment solution that also is transparent with real-time response and information is important, but transparent with regard to its financial performance and operational practices affecting safety and soundness. Catalyst Corporate achieves and maintains high service levels reflective of its role as a member-owned cooperative. Catalyst Corporate is guided in all decisions by its structure as a member-owned cooperative. Okay, sorry, I read that twice. Catalyst Corporate achieves and maintains a strong degree of engagement with its volunteer leadership. Catalyst Corporate engages in long-term planning and environmental analysis in order to be able to react to market forces. So there's so many areas as this is the about us. This is their mission statement, and you can begin to see how the RippleNet solution fits so nicely within their mission statement. Catalyst Corporate sustains sufficient resources to ensure current operational needs are met and future objectives are achieved. So if they want to make sure that they have sufficient resources, why not make sure that they don't have to have their money tied up in Nostro Vostro accounts? They don't have to worry about liquidity issues. There's so many things that they can do to support their members, and again, their members being other banks, other credit union branches. Catalyst Corporate acquires, develops, and retains a well-qualified and motivated staff, which 100% they do. Now, let's go and jump to another tab here. Let's look at their international wire transfer and see the extent of their network. So credit unions are Catalyst Corporate's international wire transfer service to access a network of more than 4,500 correspondent banks through a secure system that facilitates compliance with the Dodd-Frank International Remittance Rules. So really what we want to focus in on, 4,500 correspondent banks. This is their network. This is what they're opening the xRapid and the RippleNet solution up to. Overall, once you get these key banks around the world that are the epicenter of banking in their circle of influence. So Catalyst is the epicenter of the credit unions that they that they support. So this is a very important step in that direction. And so we can't undermine the fact that it's one customer, but look at the reach. And if we get into all the other customers that Ripple is working with through RippleNet that are beginning to look at or beginning to incorporate the xRapid solution, it's really amazing. So when we look at the benefit here, again, the ways that international wire transfers are done, either the international FX wires, this is wires that are done in foreign currency. So there's an immediate exchange of US dollar to the foreign currency. So obviously there's multiple steps that are involved in that process right now. And a reason why it's important to be able to use real-time solutions through RippleNet. And right now, that's really not achievable, as we know. So although in print, it's all done in real time, but it takes considerable amounts of time for the methodology that's in place right now to happen. Now, international USD wires are those that are in US dollars and they're moved US dollar to a US dollar account internationally. So obviously they have the Swift code. There's just a lot of things that are going on. We don't have to get into all the aspects here. But what I do want to jump to really is another area that Catalyst is involved in, and this is the Central Liquidity Facility. Now, this is mixed ownership, as it states here, government corporation created to improve the general financial stability of credit unions by serving as a liquidity lender when a credit union experiences unusual or unexpected liquidity shortfalls. So member credit unions own the CLF, which exists within the NCUA. The president of the CLF manages the facility under the oversight of the NCUA board. So who is the NCUA? The National Credit Union Administration, ncua.gov. So this is a government organization. So again, this really came right off the top of the Catalyst webpage. But so let's look at really some of the benefits and what and how really is Catalyst involved in this process. So Catalyst Corporate will act as a correspondent to the CLF for credit unions that are regular direct members of the CLF. Credit unions with assets exceeding $250 million are required by the NCUA to establish access to a government-backed source of emergency liquidity. So now imagine that with xRapid, with XRP, through the RippleNet solution, having the availability of liquidity, imagine what the NCUA could do to provide the emergency liquidity for these credit unions without necessarily having to utilize the old methods of keeping or accessing US dollar fiat currency. So CLF will provide short-term, seasonal, and protracted adjustment credit. Now here's where Catalyst Corporate can provide assistance to credit unions that own stock in the CLF as they complete credit applications and also help to facilitate loan advances. Catalyst Corporate will serve as a collateral custodian for direct CLF members. Catalyst Corporate will assist member credit unions with submitting credit applications and accompanying documentation requirements to secure loan advances. So here we see Catalyst. Again, you know, there's multiple ways that let me transition this. There's multiple ways that the naysayers out there are attempting to really minimize or undermine what Ripple is accomplishing with the RippleNet solution. And when we see a member like this, and we see the news, and maybe they try to undermine the news by stating, you know, again, it's just one potential customer. But then you look at the relationship, you look at the extent of the relationships that Catalyst has with 1,400 other credit union branches, banks. They have access to large numbers of banks internationally, correspondent banks. There were 4,500. They're dealing in 120 different countries. And they're working with the NCUA as an intermediary, assisting the other credit unions. So Catalyst, again, is definitely a big player in this space, and also an important member that is now joining to use the xRapid solution in the near term. So that's what I wanted to cover for today. Again, this is Jeff with the HODL Report. I definitely look forward to seeing you back on my next video. Before I let you go, though, let me put out a quick note. I'm not a financial advisor, not providing you any form of financial advice, but if I am going to give you any kind of advice, then let it be this: do your own research, invest only what you can afford, invest only what you can afford to lose, and don't buy or sell based on the FUD or FOMO that's spread online. And with that, again, I look forward to seeing you on my next video, and keep on hodling your crypto.